I used to think airports were boring. Sterile halls, delayed flights, that soft, endless murmur of tired travelers, rolling luggage, and last calls over intercoms. But that was before the night something landed on the roof of Terminal 5. It was just after 2:30 in the morning. I was working overtime, my third straight graveyard shift as a ground operations tech at O'Hare. I was out alone on the tarmac, running a final systems check near the south cargo ramp. That's when I heard it. Not a plane, not an engine, not even the wind. It was wings. Heavy, deliberate, too big to be a bird. I looked up and froze. Something massive glided silently across the runway, barely visible against the sodium lights. It was black, darker than the sky, and it didn't flap. It just hovered, like it was studying everything beneath it. Then it turned its head, and I saw them. The eyes. Two perfect red orbs glowing like brake lights in the dark. Not reflecting, not blinking, glowing. And they were looking straight at me. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. For a few seconds, I thought I was dying. Not in pain, but from the sheer weight of whatever that thing was. Then it dove. Not at me, but toward the hangars behind me. I swear I felt the heat from its wings as it passed over. I fell to my knees, shaking so hard I dropped my tablet. When I looked up again, it was gone. But something inside me knew the truth. It saw me, and it wanted me to remember. Graveyard shifts at O'Hare aren't glamorous. They're long stretches of fluorescent haze, cold concrete, and the occasional sonic boom from cargo jets that come in low and angry at 3 a.m. That night was unusually quiet. No wind, no incoming traffic, just the blue taxiway lights pulsing in the mist and the low hum of power lines overhead. The air was thick with jet fuel and moisture, as if the whole airport had been dipped in fog. I've always hated that part of the ramp, the southern edge of the cargo zone. There's a weird stillness to it. You're surrounded by motion sensors, security cameras, flashing strobes, and yet it feels empty, like something's watching from just beyond the sodium lights. I used to tell myself it was just the pressure of the job, or sleep deprivation. But after that night, I can't lie to myself anymore. Everything about that place felt wrong. The lights seemed dimmer, the shadows stretched farther. Even the gulls were silent, which is never the case near the dumpsters. I remember walking back to my cart and seeing footprints in the condensation on the ramp. Bare feet, not boots. Long, narrow impressions that stretched out behind a loading dock where no one was supposed to be. I radioed it in, but dispatch brushed it off. Probably a homeless guy, they said. I wanted to believe them, but even then, I knew. Nothing human left those tracks.
My name's Victor Ramirez. I'm 34, divorced, and until recently, I worked nights at O'Hare International. You could say I'm a creature of habit. I liked the quiet of graveyard shifts. Less people, less drama. It suited me after the divorce. I'd sleep all day, work all night, and spend weekends gaming or catching up on horror podcasts. I used to joke that I preferred monsters to coworkers. Funny now. What really kept me anchored was my daughter, Lonnie. She's 8, She lives with her mom in Oak Park. Every other Saturday, I'd take her to Lincoln Park Zoo or out to Mavie Pier. She liked Ferris wheels and churros, and I liked pretending I hadn't messed up our marriage. So I stayed in Chicago, stayed close, stayed working nights. After I saw the thing, I tried to brush it off. Stress, sleep deprivation, and howl, whatever excuse I could make. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. I started noticing patterns, equipment malfunctions, sudden bird strikes, people going on leave without explanation. One guy, Dale from logistics, just quit. No notice, left a toolbox in the break room, and never came back. He was the kind of guy who kept spreadsheets on his snack inventory. He didn't just forget to come in. That's when I started asking questions, and people started avoiding me. I started pulling night shift security footage, not officially, just enough to review areas near my zone. I figured if I saw it once, maybe it was caught on camera. But every time I found a moment that should have shown something, nothing. The motion sensors would spike, lights would flicker, the cameras would drop to static, or worse, just black screen. There was one instance, though, a still frame caught at 2:41 a.m., gate N27. It showed the reflection of red eyes in the mirror of a parked luggage cart. 2 perfect red dots, hovering in the air behind the vehicle. I printed it, shoved it in my locker, and never showed anyone. I wasn't sleeping much anymore. Not because of nightmares. I just didn't want to dream. Things escalated the night I found the feathers. They were slick, black, and huge, each nearly the length of my forearm. Not bird feathers. The texture was wrong. They weren't barbed like an owl's. They were smoother, more like skin, like wings from some giant bat. I kept one, wrapped it in a sandwich bag, and hid it in my truck. It's still there. That same night, I found a set of fresh prints near Hangar D, same elongated, clawed shape as before, and a smell, ozone, sulfur, and something sharp, like iron, like blood. Around 3:30, I heard something slam into the side of the jet bridge. I ran toward the noise and froze. On the catwalk, just above me, a shadow moved. Not walked. It moved. It flowed over the metal railing and stopped. Then it turned. Red eyes again, but this time closer, brighter. It watched me. And then it screamed. A sound I will never forget. Not an animal cry, not a man, something in between. Like a metal gate being ripped off its hinges and a woman shrieking inside it. I ran. I left the cart, left my keys, didn't even punch out.
I went back one last time. I needed proof. For myself. For the people who kept saying I was paranoid. For the voice in my head that wouldn't let me rest. April 2nd. Full moon. I parked near the USPS facility, where the most recent sightings had been logged. I brought a flashlight, a field recorder, and the feather in my pocket. At 3:12, the wind stopped. Every light in the alley behind the sorting center blinked off, in sequence. And then it dropped. Not from above, but from the shadows behind me. I heard the wings first, then the crunch of gravel. When I turned, it was standing there, 7 feet tall, blacker than black. The red glow from its eyes cast dim reflections on the dumpster behind it. Its chest rose and fell, like it was studying me. I raised the flashlight. The beam hit its face, and it didn't flinch. It opened its mouth. No sound came out, But I heard it anyway. In my head. A wordless shriek that twisted behind my eyes and made me forget my name for a second. My knees gave out. And then it was gone. Just like that. Like it had never been there. Except the recorder in my pocket had stopped at exactly 3:12. I quit the next morning, packed a duffel, took a bus to Oak Park, told my ex I needed a break. She didn't ask questions. I think she saw it in my eyes. Lanny asked if I'd seen a ghost. I told her no. But that was a lie. Because sometimes I still see it. Not the wings, not the shadow, the eyes. In reflections, in car mirrors, in the shimmer of the microwave door when I walk through the kitchen at night. They glow.